Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mecca Mike, and today we have an interesting topic to discuss. But before we get into that, please like, comment, and share this video so we can continue to get that real talk about the tech field, not that clickbait or that I want to sell you a course type information. So today's topic is things people don't tell you when getting into technology. Let me first start off by saying that by way of trade, I'm a software engineer with over 5 years of experience, and I'm in the process of making a transition into a more security facing role. So I know just a little bit about technology. So the main reason I wanted to talk about this subject is because I see a lot of people building their social media profiles around getting into tech and how to do it, but they're leaving out a lot of important information when it comes to the tech field. So I'm going to go over some things that people really don't tell you when trying to get into tech. So over the course of this video, I'm going to go over three key things that you really won't see either on social media or other places. So when I talk about getting to the nitty gritty, talking about what's really happening in tech and trying to get into tech, these are the three things that I don't really see that you need to know when trying to get into tech. Here's number one. The big thing a lot of people talk about when trying to get into tech is, oh, you don't need a degree. And that may be true. But what they don't tell you that is if you don't have a degree and you're trying to get in the field, it's 100 times harder to try to get a job compared to someone else that does. And the reason that is because most companies want people with degrees in tech, specifically a bachelor's degree. Even if you have a bachelor's degree, it's still not easy to get a job because a lot of places will underpay you by a lot, even if you have 4 to 6 years of experience. They want already made people so they can dump their projects on you. A lot of companies go the cheap route and they'll hire cheap contractors from overseas, but then they realize after a while they're getting a horrible product, and the customers would rather work with people they can see or interact on their time schedule. So, with the situation that bad, they can't just take on whoever, especially if they have team leads that don't actually push code to production. So, what will happen is all the hard work will be dumped on you. And if you're just starting or you have limited experience in an enterprise level environment, you're going to have trouble getting up to speed. Plus, they'll put unrealistic expectations on you because you're the new person. So, having a degree does give them a little bit more faith in you, but without one, you'll have to come with a lot of certifications and a portfolio that displays your skills. And that's if they even look at you. And the second thing that they don't tell you about tech or about getting into tech is that HR is horrible. I know for all the HR folks, I get it. You guys are the best people in the world. But in my opinion, in getting into tech, HR is horrible. But that's just my opinion, and hear me out. Let's talk about it. The problem I have with HR in tech is that HR people, and this is most of them, don't know about the position they're hiring for. And they over assume what a hiring manager is looking for. So, what they'll do is they'll often look for someone that fits the job description to a T, when more than likely either that person doesn't exist or they're paying way too low for what they're expecting you to know. So let me give you a quick example of what you'll face when dealing with HR. So, say you're a developer, you have over 5 years of experience. In the job description, they'll want someone, quote unquote, that's a developer like you, has 5 years of experience, but they'll also want someone that works in the cloud. has a security background, and can work across multiple frameworks. And they'll also want all of that. And then they'll tell you, oh, we'll pay you 80K. Hmm, there's a problem there. They're expecting you to have all this experience and they only want to pay you 80K. I can promise you for a fact this job will never get filled, but they'll try and try and try and put out the application. Understand, and they just can't comprehend why nobody that fits that specific criteria is interested or puts in an application. But in the process, they'll reject so many great potential candidates because they don't fit that exact criteria to a T. And there's also another main issue when it comes to HR in tech. And I don't think this problem is just um, tech in general. I don't think it's isolated just to tech. I think it's a problem with HR just across the board. Is that, and this is just from my experience, what I've seen dealing with HR people in tech, is that they'll ghost you a lot, or they hit you up with, "Oh, by the way, business needs have changed, and we got to get rid of the position," and you just be like, "But you just hit me up 2 days ago, and you reached out to me." And now all of a sudden, business needs change within 2 days. Now the position is gone. Hmm. That's just annoying part of dealing with HR. They will waste your time and they'll call you for positions and that you don't even want just because they're more concerned about placing you for their benefit, because people need to understand HR, especially when it comes to onboarding and placing people, it's beneficial for them to get somebody. So they're going to go after people that fit something to the T because the chances of you getting hired in their head is high, which is beneficial for their position. But once you're no benefit to them, they'll disappear. So at the end of the day, don't listen to the HR people when it comes to trying to get the job in tech. Focus on improving your skill set in whatever field you choose to get into in tech and apply for jobs that align closely to your skill set. Because at the end of the day, you have to pass the technical interview anyway to even get the job. So it doesn't matter what the HR person says that you need to have in order to get them to just do whatever it takes to get them to pass you on to the hiring manager. And after that, it's up to you. HR doesn't influence who gets hired in any way, shape, or form. Yes, they can be a stopgap between actual talent getting to the hiring manager. I, that can happen. But your main goal in dealing with HR is to get to the hiring manager. That's all that matters. Point blank, period. Forget about all the other stuff is noise. Get to the hiring manager. They don't influence if you get hired. All they do is pass you on to the next step. So always remember that. The third and final thing they don't tell you when you're trying to get into tech is that the interview process can be really challenging. If you're trying to get into tech, usually you have 3 interviews that you need to pass to get the job. The first interview is obviously HR calls you, they ask you basic questions about why you applied to the role, your skill set, and might even tell you about the company. They're just trying to get a vibe about you and make sure that you're a real person and check off most of the things a hiring manager is looking for. The next step is an interview with the actual hiring manager. And usually these interviews aren't super technical, but they could still ask some tech questions just to see if you know what you're talking about and see if you're a really good fit personality wise for them and their team. The third and final interview step is usually a tech screening or technical interview where you'll sit with the lead of the team or an architect, and they'll basically grill you on your knowledge and see if you know enough from their perspective to be able to work for that team. Tech interviews are super difficult, especially if you aren't good at memorizing stuff. Because, for example, if you're a newer programmer and you're applying for a job, I can promise you for a fact the likelihood of them asking you the basic principles of an object oriented programming or what is an interface are very high. And the problem I have with most tech interviews is you don't know what to expect. So all you can do is prepare the best you can because there's always that one guy that you'll run into that will throw you a curveball just to prove how smart they are. And a lot of them have egos, so you need to watch out for that and prepare based on what's on the job description and what you've put on your resume because they will literally question you on a subject. And if you can't answer the question, the likelihood of you getting the job is really low, especially if they are looking for a quote unquote dictionary. It's unfortunate, but most tech interviews are horrible for determining if you can do the job. They do so just to test if you can remember things. So be prepared to deal with that headache. All you can do is prepare on various subjects and hope through learning and working that you'll understand various concepts to the point that if asked, you can tell them off the top of your head. I just want you to remember that getting into tech isn't easy by any means, but it is possible. It's not a cakewalk, but if you put in the time and the effort, you can definitely double your salary in a short amount of time and work remotely as well. Most people won't tell you this when it comes to getting into tech. So I hope you found this video to be a good source of information. And if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this, please like, comment, and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted when my next video drops. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, my name is Mecca Mike, and here we talk that real talk about tech.